Hey guys, it's Christy and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be talking about the closing of Bite Beauty and the history of the brand. So before we get into it, I hope you'll consider subscribing to my channel before you leave. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's get into it. Alright guys, so with the news of Bite Beauty closing, I thought we would just kind of talk about that, as well as I really wanted to look into the history of the brand and how it came to be, and how we got to where we are right now. I know Kelly Gooch does tend to do this type of brand deep dive on her channel, so I will certainly be linking her playlist down below. Her series is absolutely brilliant, and I've been wanting to do some sort of history and makeup series here on my channel as well. I don't know what that's going to look like yet, so let's just get into it. I was going to do my makeup while I told the story, but I don't think my attention span could handle that. So let's just get into it. Bite Beauty was founded in 2011 by Suzanne Langmuir, and she is a Canadian businesswoman. She is based out of Toronto, and her background was really in product development. And I understand for about 10 years she traveled the world working with growers and producers and linking them back to cosmetics manufacturers and private label development. And she was just very interested in the connection between the nutrient-rich benefits from things that are grown and harvested as opposed to synthetic ingredients. So this made her want to build her own lab and create her very own products. So in her early 20s, Suzanne founded Nature's Essence Aromatherapy, and from sourcing those essential oils for that business, that led her to eventually decide to launch Suzanne Lang Fragrance, which ended up being sold in Barney's in New York, which was a pretty big deal. And this fragrance line became so lucrative that she ended up telling her husband to quit his banking job that he had been in for 19 years and just join her in her business. And he did. So 6 months after that, she decided that she didn't want to do fragrance anymore. She wanted to expand into cosmetics, because as somebody who tends to make their own skincare and products and really likes to use natural and organic ingredients in everything she does, she noticed a gap in the market for cosmetics. I understand she wasn't always a huge makeup wearer, but she always loved lipstick. So in noticing that gap in the market, she wanted to create a cosmetics line that was clean and organic, but that also had superior performance. A lot of the time when you get clean and organic products, there is something missing, because those silicone ingredients really do things for the product. They help it last longer, they help it adhere to the skin better. They do so many different things, but she was really determined to create products that you wouldn't know they were clean unless you looked at the label. And Suzanne had already tried to create a brand called Sula for cosmetics that was on the same basis as Bite, but it didn't really take off. A lot of people, it wasn't resonating with them, the whole idea of clean beauty. Keep in mind, this was back in 2010, 2011. In 2011, she approached Sephora and began collaborating with them, and the brand was originally going to be called Bite Me. So I couldn't find a description as to how it actually just became Bite. I assume because she wanted to use natural food grade ingredients that were also edible, but also Bite Beauty just sounded better than Bite Me. Also, I couldn't find a better description online, so that is what I could take from this whole thing. And then when she was working with Sephora, they decided it would be a really great opportunity to really focus on one category that would also be universal, instead of, say, creating complexion products that might cater more to one skin type as opposed to another skin type, or anything like that, whereas lipstick is just, it tends to be a very universal product. So they decided they really wanted to hone in on lips. So that brings us to 2011. When the brand was officially founded. And in 2012, the brand officially launched in partnership with Sephora, so it was sold exclusively in Sephora stores. And then in the spring of 2013, the brand had a promotional pop-up shop in a Toronto Sephora where they wanted to showcase how their small batches of handmade lipsticks were made. And I should also mention, she had also created her very own lab in Toronto by this time, and all of the lipsticks and lip products were being handmade. And I believe I read in one of her interviews or something similar that a typical lab creates around 40,000 lipsticks, and she would release 2,000. I can't remember if that was per day. I think it was per day, but she would create 2,000. So much smaller batches, so it was much more curated. And this promotional pop-up shop, customers could come in and kind of see the lipstick process, and I believe this was where the whole inspiration took hold for the Bite Lip Labs, so people could create their own custom lip shades. So this pop-up shop was such a success that 3 weeks later, Suzanne leased a shop in the Soho district of Manhattan to set up the first Bite Beauty Lip Lab. So again, like we just mentioned, at the Bite Beauty Lip Labs, customers can go and they can see the entire process of creating a lipstick, creating a shade, and they can create their very own custom lipstick shade. There's currently 4 stores. So there is New York, which is their flagship. There's also one in Toronto, one in San Francisco, and one in LA. To my knowledge, I don't think there are any others yet. So in 2014, the brand was acquired by Kendo, which is owned by LVMH. And with this, the brand saw this as an opportunity to scale up their business, create much more products. And Suzanne Langmuir stayed on as the Chief Creative Officer. So this was not supposed to compromise any of their clean beauty initiatives, anything like that. It was still supposed to be the same brand, just operating on a much higher business scale. So then in 2016, we saw the release of the wildly popular Amuse Bouche lipsticks. So this was a range of 34 different shades of lipstick that featured bold shades and was also supposed to be in a creamy moisturizing formula. These retailed for $26 and they were so popular. This lipstick line did incredibly well for the brand. They had other lip products available at the time as well, but this line was very, very well loved. And one thing I kept seeing pop up throughout my research and a lot of the different websites and links I was looking at was her goal was really to create all natural cosmetics with an edgy contemporary style. And that's 100% what she did with the Amuse Bouche lipsticks. In September 2019, the brand announced that the discontinuation of their entire range so that they could rebrand and become fully vegan. And by November, all of their products were gone from Sephora, their website, everywhere. So this was kind of a drastic measure. And then in January 2020, they relaunched their brand. Consumers were a little bit surprised by this rebrand because their first launch, it did include some of their Power Move lip crayons as well as their reformulated agave lip mask that was very well known and loved. But this was also the launch of their complexion line, which included a foundation, a powder, and a primer. So a lot of people were kind of sent sideways because this is a brand that for almost 10 years had focused solely on lip products, and now suddenly we have a complexion line. So this was very different for the brand. However, I remember hearing such rave reviews about that foundation, and I heard good things about the powder as well. But that was definitely strange for the brand. And they did release their lip crayons, which people were happy about. However, because they had reformulated some things, the agave lip mask, a lot of people were disappointed in because it was not the same as it was prior to the rebrand. That reformulation didn't go the best for them. However, their complexion line did do pretty well, even though there was a lot of confusion. So fast forward to May of 2021, this is when they released their Daycation whipped cream blushes. So this was a weird product to release as well. A lot of people were confused by this one. The component was very strange. It wasn't the most easy to use component, I would say. I heard a lot of people frustrated with the actual component itself. I never tried it, mostly because I didn't like the look of the component, and I'm also just not a huge liquid blush wearer, so that was something I had passed on, but I definitely heard very polarizing reviews on this product, and for the most part they were quite negative. Then in July of 2021, they finally released their new formulation of lipsticks. So in November of 2019, their Amuse Bouche lipsticks were gone. And this was such a beloved formula, and when they relaunched, those lipsticks weren't even there. So it took well over a year and a half to re-release their new lipsticks. And this lipstick formula is said to have been 3 years in the making, and this is the Power Move Soft Matte Lipsticks. This formula is excellent. This is more of a soft matte, so it's not creamy like the Amuse Bouche, and this line is also much more of a range of nudes as opposed to the bold, edgy shades that we had previously. But the lipsticks were still met with pretty good reviews, and then we didn't really hear much from Bite until May of 2022, and this was announced by Trendmood on Instagram that the brand is closing, but the lip labs will remain open and they are going to be expanding. So that was really sad news. I don't think anybody was really shocked by it because, again, their stuff had been on sale at Sephora for months, I believe at this point. Months and months. All of their stuff has been steeply discounted. On Bite's website, their stuff is steeply discounted, and they haven't released anything in nearly a year. So I don't think anybody's surprised, and I definitely think they kind of got away from their roots a little bit. But I do think that going with just the lip labs is really going to be a way to kind of take it back to those roots, just creating handmade lip products. And I think the expanding of the lip lab itself, I've never been, but it's a bucket list item for me. It's such a unique idea, such a unique concept. I don't know of any other brands that have something like this where you can go and create your very own lipstick, and their lip labs are very well known for that. So I do think it's a brilliant business model to expand on them. So I think that's great, and going back to focusing solely on lip products and handmade custom products, I think that's great, and I think that's really taking it back to their roots. I am really sad that we're going to lose the brand as a whole, that's not going to be something that we're going to find at Sephora anymore, and I really love the Power Move lipsticks, so I'm a little sad about that. Overall, not surprised, but I'm very interested in seeing where this expansion of their lip labs goes. I'm personally hoping for one closer to me. I'm very interested to see where this goes. So I hope this video was helpful. I hope you found it interesting. Let me know down below if you would want to see me do more of this kind of history and makeup combination kind of a thing. Let me know. I've been wanting to do some sort of history and makeup series for the longest time. I just haven't figured out exactly how to approach it. But let me know down below if you'd like to see more of this. Let me know if you'd rather I do my makeup while I do this. I just didn't know if I could pay attention long enough. But let me know your preferences down below. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this was interesting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I do appreciate it so very much, as always. And if you're new here, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. I do upload at least 3 new videos every single week. And that is it for me today. Thank you again so very much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!